Hey Dreamers, this is Plays, and today we're going to continue with this sculpt that we did last week, basically. So what we're going to do, we build this post for the electricity and stuff like that, like line post or like phone cables or whatever your electricity, whatever you want to like call it. So we did it like last week, and I had a little bit of struggle first with the line itself, like how I was going to do that, but I think we did it pretty much okay. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to paint, and we're going to, if we have some time left, we're going to add some like that the cable actually is going to do something. Now before we actually going to continue to do some some like color and then painting basically the sculpture, is I want to like this cable is it should be a little bit like on top of here. So what we're going to do, what I need to go to do is, now let me do this still with like the grid. I'm going to place this something like that. So it will be easier for me to make this sculpt continue. Like so. Something like that. And why? Basically, we don't really need this one. But for what I can, like this one, like these two are like are in groups. So if you like go in play mode, like we have this, right? And I am a little bit curious if we can still make this a little bit like it's interactable. Let me find the right one. Here we go. So like it doesn't really have floppiness, but if I keep more floppiness, it goes really weird. So I wonder if I can actually do a little bit wind effect, and for that I'm going to test out let me see where I was again. I think it's in movers and outputs. Yes, it is. I'm not really sure if this is going to work, so keep in mind for this. And then it's going to directional, and maybe like this. I don't know. Strength, maybe it's a little bit higher. Yeah, I was afraid of this. Like, it goes a little bit, like, it's doing a little bit weird if we go for this. Maybe we need to put a little bit, like, lower. And then, like, we can play a little bit around with these settings. Like, what I can do is, I can, for example, go in, like, timeline. And in the timeline, we're going to say, let's do a normal action recording. And, oh, let me do the settings here. So what we need to do, it's, was it this one or which one was it? I think it was this one, right? So, okay. What I'm going to do is we're going to just like animate a little bit of these settings here. So I'm going to do like this. Right? And that's it. And that we're going to pull it in the timeline, so you can always like tweak that later on. And this timeline is in loop, so if you're going to play this, you can see that the cable now moves a little bit with the basically the wind direction. So that's basically what we do for like that the cable is like moving in the wind, so it feels a little bit more alive and stuff like that. So if we want to like put more poles next to each other, we actually need like we can do it like this, but we don't really need this one here. So I'm going to get rid of this and We all need to connect those two lines, and now we can just like have like a longer line of post. If you actually want to have like the same effect what we have here also applying to the other one, we're simply going to put this here as well. So now they are both like bouncing a little bit. Like this may be a little bit weird, to be honest. Let me do it like on the same position a little bit. And like so. So if you're going in play mode, you can actually see that now those lines are a little bit moving. I'm not sure if you can see it on stream a little bit, but they're actually like dancing and moving a little bit. So this is like basically how you're doing like a landline up in the sky. If you ever want to create something like that yourself in Dreams, this is one way to do it. And it worked fine to me. All right, so I'm also going to group these things together. I think it's cool to have that in one group. There we go. Nicely. And now we can basically paint. So before I'm going to do that, we're simply going for the live clone. And how do we do that again? I always forget. Like live clone. Is that because like we are in a group maybe? Because now it doesn't want me to do it. Ah, there we go. Oh. Okay, so if I now paint something to this, is it adding? No. Why not? It's been a while. I'll use live clone again, so okay, I think now it's yeah, there we go. All right, so that works. I don't know why the middle one was not working. I was pretty sure I clicked on it. Okay, so we're going to paint this one here, and then we're going. I'm not sure if I'm going into the same technique that I always have done before. Like the technique is simply the wedge technique. So we're going to like add a base color to the pole, and then we're going to paint the wooden structure on top of it. We make it maybe a little bit wet here and there, so like it's like this thing has seen the day. Basically, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to create the first layer, and let's just. I think I'm going to make a new color for this, not pre-made. So that's fine and good. Normal wooden brown color, and I think this is it. There we go. Make sure every setting is all right. I am going to do sub-blend, and I'm going to do the opacity a little bit lower, and then we're going to paint this little thing here. I'm not going to do it super precisely, but at least that we have some base color to it. And the beauty of like live cloning is it's also doing the rest of us as well, as you can see. So that's pretty neat. So we don't need to worry about that. I'm going to place the puppet a little bit further away. We're probably going to need it for some testing purposes, but that's all to it. Okay, so now we're going to paint the rest of the structure. We're going to use the wedge technique. If you have seen my previous videos, you will already know what the wedge technique is all about. This is basically the way how I do mostly of my sculpts with texturing. There are like I said, there are like tons of other ways to do things like this. There's not really one solution to one matter. There are like always like different routes and ways to get like a certain technique for yourself, and just find the technique that you're most comfortable with. You don't really have to follow what I do. Like try to find, you can do it of course, but try to find as well your own style and technique of what you think works best for your style in game. Because like if you're going to exactly copy my technique, you're maybe going to have like a really different style in the overall game, and it looks really weird if then suddenly there's a different type of style in one sculpture. So you really want to make sure that you're following your own style a little bit, but you can of course follow the baselines of it and learn a little bit, which is totally fine. All right, so we find I'm actually going for a lighter color this time. Maybe we can use a preset. Let me see how this is looking. I think that looks fine to me. And we're just going to use like we're going to make stripes on this. So so there we go. I don't want to have stone sub blend it. That's something what we don't want. Opacity is good for me. I'm just going to make lines on this thing here. I'm going to make sure like it's super random, so I don't really have to do it like super precise, because wood is doing its things on its own as well. It's growing on its own, so we are also going to do super random. There we go. And we're going to combine a little bit of like different shades and colors for the wood structure. And like I said, just find your own style. Okay, I think I'm going to do a little bit lighter. And then the next one. And I think we're going to use a slower or lower opacity. I'm just going to like paint it again. Get that wood structure. And oh, we have to be careful with this part, because like this one is I went a little bit too much on this. I'm going to lower this and then wink wink. Like so. Here on the top, it needs to have some sort of like that. But this is for me like a very quick way to make wood textures. Like I don't really want to spend too much time on make textures for my sculptures, because most of the sculptures you're not even going to see that much, and you just need to have a little bit of like a feeling that there is something going on. Now we're not finished yet, so I'm actually going to plan to add like maybe a little bit darker. And I think I'm going to make it pre-made for this. So we're going for in the pre-made section, and we're going for a little bit darker wood structure. And I think this is fine. We can combine it a little bit with the previous one, but I'm not going to do that. I think this is good for me. And then we're going to paint again over it. So basically we're going to do layer over layer over layer, and you get like a really nice structure if you do this. And then we're going to also add a little bit more darker tone to it. And what I mean is that like I want to make it so that like this thing has been seen rain and different days of weather, and like it's really worn out basically. So that's what we're going to do. And after we have done like the structure, the texture of this wooden, we can basically like do the rest of the painting. I always love painting. Painting is always the very fun part to do this. Right, so I think the base layer is done in my opinion. I think we can add already a little bit of like, you can even go a little bit further, right? If you want to like add more to it, like darker the tone a little bit, you can do that. But before I'm going to do this, I actually want to maybe, I was thinking of go in smear mode, like smear, and then we're going to use a different technique, and that's like the donut one. We're going to make this super small, make the cone super small. You don't really have to do this if you don't want to. This is definitely going to rise up maybe a few few of your like but this is something that you probably can do to get like something like this. And maybe need to go a little bit smaller still, something like that, and then all the way down. Like I said, you don't really have to do this. This is just like extra like depth texturing on the sculpt, so it gives a little bit more depth to that sculpture. But if you're not going for this particular style, like I said, you don't really have to do this. I am maybe 1 sec. I'm not really happy yet. I think I'm just going a little bit lower still. Wait. Let me make this bigger. Like so, and then let's make it super slow. Not super, super small. Let's see how that turns out. Just like a little bit, like I'm just like touching it randomly into the wooden structure. And we don't really have to do it everywhere. Like you don't really want to go for everywhere where you want to go. Like do it a little bit like random spots here and there. And so you get like a nice structure and feeling to this. And we should maybe like so. It's an easy way to do this. There are like other ways to go for if you want to go for realistic part. You can always do like that if you want, but I don't really need to do this because my style has been a little bit like this with all my sculpts. So it will be weird if I suddenly change my style in this. If I go suddenly for super realism, and I don't want to go for hyper realism, just a little bit fun. You can still see what it is about, and that's about it. And the cool part is, once we have done this, we have basically done all the poles on the other side as well. So we that's the cool part. We're almost done. Oh, it stopped turning for some reason. Okay, there we go. Do it a little bit on here. Do it there a little bit. Just having some. Okay. And then we can go out, and then you can see that we have like it's a small detail, yeah, it's a small detail. You're not going to see it, but the good part is because we did live clone, it also adds up on this one as well, and it is still using the default settings, but we're going to change that. The only thing that's not like doing like live cloning is the settings itself. I really hope the Minimolecule will eventually add that as well. That will be pretty cool. But we're not done yet. So now we did a little bit like this additional thing. I'm also going to add a little bit more darker to the tone of the texture. So we're going back into spray paint, and I'm going to use a square, or no, we're going to use the wedge technique still. I think that still works for almost 99% of what I'm doing. So the wedge technique, make sure it has a hole inside, and then we're going to like make it super small. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a darker, well, we can use maybe this already. I think I will be fine with using that. And then we're going to like darken the parts. Maybe we need a little bit more opacity. And I think that we also need a little bit more subblend to this as well. So just like this. And now we're going to like randomly place that a few on some spots so it gets a really nice looking texture on it. And we're doing that a little bit in the top. Like so. Do that on here a little bit. There. So now we have a little bit like darkened the wood itself. And I think that's pretty okay already. Now we need to do some settings. So we're going back into the sculpt. And we need to change a few stuff. Now I don't want to really do all the stuff like myself, so I kind of want to connect these two things all together. I think that I will keep tree open. What I can also do, and that's maybe even better way, is just like, since it's because like it's going to be cloned, like this is like one group basically. So what we can do is this. I can remove this one and make sure we are actually in the group itself. So we're going to clone this. Oh no, we don't have to. I'm stupid. Okay. No, we don't have to, of course. So all I need to do now, I'm going to remove this as well. So basically this is our asset, right? We are not done yet, or like we are not done yet with this asset. But all I need to do now, like if we play the scene, you can still see it is hanging here. And why is that? Because like we made a pre-made invisible block. So we need to only like clone this one here and connect that to the, oh, I went a little bit too far. Connect it to the line like so. And that's it. That's all we need to do. And then we can like keep going on and on till the end. So that's like the beauty of it. So it really speeds up your progress of connecting those lines. And as you can see, everything works pretty well, right? All right, but we're going to get rid of this, but we're not done yet. We still need to paint a few stuff here. I'm also going to do the what is it called, like this, the thing that's holding together. I'm going to get rid of the grid, and we're going to use a little bit of gray. I'm just going to use like a pre-made color for this, and I'm going to use just like a sphere for this as well, and just like we're going to paint over the nails. That was the word I was looking for. A little bit over the nails. And we're going to also add a few extra things on this sculpture as well. Like I said, we're not done at all. Like so. And I'm going to paint this. This is one that's going to be a little bit more challenging because it's made out of one sculpt. So I don't want to actually, like, I can leave it like gray if I want to. But I think it would be cool if I actually make a really nice color on this. So let's go into our settings, and what type of color would be nice? Blue. No, let's make a more teak color. Let's see. More of like green, but green in very close to the blue part, basically. Maybe like so. Kind of like that. Okay, so now we only need to, I missed a few spots here. There you go. All right, so that's it. It's like this looks like a little like a tree, tiny tree. Now we also need to make the cable black. So we're going to into the cable selection. So here we're going to do finishing, and it's just a little bit roughness. So I would say 80% reflection. We're going to make it black. So this one is going to be 200%. And I'm not going to make it full black because that would be not wise to do that, but go a little bit in tint above it. So like it's not fully black, but it's just how it how that like looks. And then we can like you can opacity, but that's not a good idea to do for this. And I think waxiness, I think this is pretty much, I can like do a little bit of metal, like 10%, but not too much. And that's all to it. That's the line. The only problem with this type of creations, like if you're standing under perfectly, like here, the line disappears, and that's simply because like it's a flat plane. Now I could do maybe add another one if I want and add them together, or like make it basically more round, but I think that this is fine. We only going to see it from the side anyway, the whole scene, so I don't think we actually need to add that as well. That's for the pole itself. Now we're going to add a little bit more detail on the pole. I want to have like nails or like hooks actually, and those hooks are basically meant for cable management so that you can reuse this single pole for different reasons, or if there are different cables going to connect on this pole. For example, I will show you what I mean. Like, what if this pole has a connection with another one, and so that cable needs to like guide to another section, right? So what happens is that sometimes this cable doesn't go to a glider, but only needs to serve for a route to go to the next part. So what we need to do is we need to add like some hooks so that the cable can go there without any issue to travel to a longer distance. That's like basically what these things are doing. So for that, like we're going to add a few like different hooks, and I will do that in one sculpt. I'm not going to add like random like single sculpts to this. That will be weird, but we do need already pre-made the color, and those going to look a little bit of like gray like this. And we need to make sure we are in the stamp shape, and I'm going to use the curve tool for this. I think that is I think that will work fine. We're going to make it super small. And first I'm going to attach, let's see, where are we going to attach some? I think we need someone very low here. I'm going to like do it like this. And like so. Maybe I should have used, okay, one sec. Like maybe I should use the grid snap for this. Let me reset. And lower the grid as well, maybe on 4. See how like we're doing with this. There we go. I have a little bit better control on this now, so I think the hook should be around here. Then we go down, and this one goes down. Doesn't have to be super perfect or anything like that. Like so. And probably this is already too big. So let me see. Let me see how we will be doing with this. I think that like so maybe. And then I could have maybe do it with don't know why this one is not lying to it. Doesn't really matter though. Let's see how this looks. This is way, I think this is way too big. I don't know. We probably need to make it smaller. So I'm just going to make it A little bit smaller, something like this. There we go. I think that is pretty much okay. And then we're going to like reuse it, but then on a different location. Think we need one glider over here as well. Like so. Let me get rid of the grid because it's didn't really want me to do what I wanted to do. This one is super big for some reason, so let me. There we go. And let's see what else can we do still. I do not know. Do we need more hooks for this whole thing? I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good with this. I might maybe do a little bit of like some extra settings in this one here. So what we're going to do here, wood like does like reflect a little bit, but not too much. So I think we would say like 75% or maybe even more, maybe even 78 or 70. I will go for 90%. I think that will be nice. We can also like add like a few like things here. We can like go on a different setting, like get a little bit like a different wood color if we want that. The best way for me to like to always test this is like if you're planting like a sun gadget. So we're going for a sun gadget. If you have made a pre-made set for yourself that you're going to use for your creations, you can do so. I'm often like do really quickly like this and see how that is going to turn out into game perspective. Something like this. It's just like a real quick settings that I'm going for, and maybe add some very light blue. And I think that the wood is bouncing pretty okay. The beauty of it, like the beauty of Dreams is always you can, no matter what, you can always like tweak the settings anyway. But I think I'm going to leave it that this color is going to be default, and then we can always like if we need another one, I can always like say like, okay, this one is going to be a little brighter. But I can do that in the game itself, so I don't really need to do that in the original one, but the original Sculpt. And then I think we are good to go. I don't see that we actually missed something here. All right. So let me see how this is going to look in a environment like what we did earlier in the previous one. Oh, before we're going to do that, let me get some grid. And let me go for Cyber Streets. And here's everything we did so far. So let's first add the brick wall. Okay, so this is... So that's where my grid is. Alright, I gotcha. Is this also on grid, by the way? Yeah, it is. Okay. It really looked like it was not on grid. Okay, so... And then we need the door. I always do this so I know a little bit of like how it's going to turn out eventually with all the assets together. Wait, I have a better idea. I have a lot better idea. I already made like a scene. It's not like the scene I'm going to use, but it's more of a test scene. Let me save this one. And it's an element. It's a sculpture. This one is going to be called electric pole. I don't know how to call it. Electric pole. There's probably a better name for this, but for now I can just call it an electric pole. Okay, now we need to go. Oh, let me see if it's in the right. I always do that because sometimes, yep, I was afraid of this. I accidentally turned this thing away from the center. So what I do is often to get this done, I place a cube and then I place this thing here. So I know exactly what thing it is. So there we go. Now I can save it again. And sometimes it happens that when you're like sculpting something is not in the center of your canvas, or this is the way to do it. This is how I always done. Now I can see, okay, maybe it's still too close, but I'm already happy with this. Like, it's not like it's super bad. All right. Now we can go in here. Let's blow in edit mode. Then we're going for the grid at the post. There we go. Boink. And that should be to it. And then we can like say this. It's a small street, but it doesn't matter. And then it should be connect perfectly with the grid. If everything goes as I planned, there we go. So now we have this lovely, I mean, like I said, we don't really need much. I can decide maybe to like smaller this because like the scene is a lot smaller. So I can maybe try to go for, yeah, 88. I don't know. There you go. There we go in play mode. So that will be our post. That's it. I don't see them moving. I don't know why that is. Let me see what's going on here. There's a light. What is that about? Okay, they are moving. They are 100% moving. Maybe less strength or more strength. Don't see anything happen with that. Okay, they are moving, but are my eyes just like deceiving me? It doesn't really look like they're moving if I like go in play mode. But I think it's, oh, they are moving. Never mind. It really looked like they were not moving, but they are moving. There we go. All right. So that is like, so this is actually going to look like something like that. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do something like here on the ground still. If they have like a holder or something like that, I don't know. But I think it would be a really nice touch. And maybe we can already think of like, what if there is a second thing that's holding the line, maybe like something like this, like in dual lines, and something like that. I have two lines over there, and we can also say oh, like flip it on the other side. Wait, sorry, my bad. I was not bringing the group with me. So now we have, wait. Huh? Wait, what am I doing wrong? Where's the line going? That's super weird. Okay, wait. I think maybe the best way, if you're going to make dual lines, which is also possible, but I think the best way to do that is just like make different versions of these. So we now have like a single post. Maybe we can do that. So yeah, that's safe. It doesn't matter. So what we can do, we can make like different variations of this particular poll, right? So I'm just going to start a new scene. And we're going to import the main one. So this is our... I don't know why it's so far away, but okay, there we go. So this is like the same one, but we're going to like change the outcome a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to we need to repaint a few things here and there. But if we're going to like make it so that this is like a dual channel or dual line, which you often see as well, we're going to do that like so. Oh, that was the wrong one. Like this one here. Wait. There you go. Then we need this one here. And we need this little thing here as well. All right. And I think we can keep it like this. Like the same way. So I can then like change the color. So all I need to do is go in the scope itself, of course, and then we're going into paint and color picker. I thought I saved that. Okay, well. Oh, of course we are in a new thing, of course. So never mind. And then we paint this and make this dark silver. I should have done this before, by the way. The way of how I do things, sometimes it's not in the correct order. All right, there we go. And the next one goes to be maybe a little bit trickier. So I'm not sure if this is going to work actually. Oh wait, that's not the yes. Okay, let's see. I'm curious, can we clone this? That would be awesome if we can without any issues. Oh, there we go. Without any issues, we could clone this one. Nice. That's awesome. So that's basically that be done. That's it for the dual channel. And then we can like also make a fourth one and a third one, and depending on like on what it is actually. And oh, I see that I forgot some painting over here. So remove this color picker. Oh, let me service snap. All right, so I want to make it half work. So there we go. And that's the dual channel one. And the whole thing costs 2%. I think we can even go lower if we want. I'm not sure, by the way. Yeah, 1%. We can go 1%. So this is like a 1% sculpt. And that's all good to me. So this is like the dual channel one. Let me see how that looks if we're going to connect them together in one-on-one grids. I always try to make like everything in one-on-one grid because it will be easier to connect things together and to make your life a lot easier as well. So yeah, that looks totally fine to me. Now we have a little bit of like a problem because like that thing only hits the first cable, right? It's not like it's doing anything with the other cable. So we need to fix that. So let me get rid of this. And like it's not like it's hitting the other one. So we're just going to like move this in the center, and I'm going to make the sphere a little bit bigger, like 2.5 meters. That should be enough. So now both of the cables are like a little bit bouncing in the wind, as you can see. And that's all what it is. And like you can always like move them a little bit faster if the wind is stronger. But that you can do like in game, like changing that. But this looks fine to me. And you can see it one more time if we clone this whole thing together, like so. There you go. And now we have a dual lined. Just as easy as it is. I think I'm going to do like maybe one more version, like a 4-channel, like a fourth line, basically, like 4 lines. I think that are the most common ones to see. I'm probably going to like change a little bit of the design as well a little bit, so you can see like it's not like completely a clone of everything. But I think this works for me as well. So we're done. So this we can save as well. Save. Going to be an element. It's going to be an... I need to search on the internet what the real name is. Electric pole. I'm going to call it dual line. There we go. I'm actually going to search the real name for this because like I have no idea what the actual name of that one is. So we now have the dual line. So we have the single line, dual line, and we're going to continue doing this. So I'm going to like can we remix what is smart? The thing is like with doing it like this, it will be always like yeah, it's not that like it's super bad or anything like that. Okay, so we grab this one. There we go. So this one we're going to make a 4th line, like a quattro line basically. But we need to do a little bit stuff here. We're going to clone this wooden plank. Not so far. But we need to do extra sculpting on this. I think around there. I would assume. And like so. Like so. Oh. Clone this one. Clone that one. And then we need to do it on the other side as well. Oh. Like so. Oh, I already had that one. And then the top one. And then I can grab it from here. And then this one, connect to that. This one, go under there. All right. And then we're almost done already. But I'm going to change a little bit of like the design of this one. So I don't think that we need this one here. I kind of want to have this as clean as possible. There we go. I think that's fine to me as well. I need to think a little bit. Don't want to make mistakes. Make sure we have the right group. Clone this. Like so. And oh, visibility that goes off because you don't want to like show that. And now we have like a quattro line. more cables, especially if you're in bigger cities. We need more cables to travel. And now we only need to, I think I'm going to cheat a little bit with this one here. Going to clone some of the stuff that I did previously on the, I know it's a little bit cheating, but it saves me a little bit of time on this. You don't always want to reinvent the wheel. Oh. Oh, I should have maybe have done this earlier. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let me get rid of this. Like so. Just make sure we got everything. I often grab the wrong one. Come on, grab it, grab it. Now he doesn't want me to do it. There you go. Alright, so now we only need to... Did I got this one? Or did I accidentally... I accidentally... Okay. And now we can bring this one up. It's a little bit like... It's a bit cheating, but... it saves me some time. There we go. Oh, a little bit too far. Alright. Now we only need to paint, so we're going to do the base layer. I'm just going to get rid of the grid. Get into the sculpt, go into paint. And I'm going to use the color picker. So I first want to do is the base color. Let me put opacity lower, subband a little bit higher. Oh, I should be a little bit careful about the pole itself there. Don't really want to hit that thing there. Let me use the server snap. Okay, let me do the other side as well, although it's almost got hit anyway. Nice, so that's that. Now do we all need to add the wedge technique and do that rest for us. Go in the whole modes, make it smaller, and then squeeze it out a little bit, and we're going to add different let me see, no salt blend, opacity, I think that's fine. And we're just going to paint and stroke on this thing here. Just how we did with the other one as well. I think maybe this one, but we're going to do the opacity a little bit lower. Maybe a little bit darker. Make it a little bit smaller. So it blends in all well together. We're doing the other side a little bit as well. We don't want to have work on this sculpt. We want to make sure that everything is just as much as the other side. Alright, so the only thing what we need to do still is these things here. We need to make them green, or that color that we used before. Going to use color picker. Use this one. And actually we're going to use first we're going to use gray before I make the same mistake again. Darker one, because we want to paint, I mean, it's not visible at all. Like for the people that are walking under it, it's not going to be visible, but I want to have this detail anyway. Make sure that the opacity is a little bit higher, otherwise it's barely visible. And then we're going to change this to green. just like so. I could have maybe also like add mirror mode on this whole sculpture, but I think it will be more authentic when it's like it's not so super perfect into the center everything that makes it so authentic. It's a little bit of a risk to do that because like it takes more time. But I kind of like when like things are not like super perfectly sometimes as well in the center. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I sculpt in mirror mode to save me a lot of time. But I think it's also like add a little bit more extra detail if we are a little bit off the center. Not much, but like then it feels that it's not like super super in the center. I think that we are done. I don't see anything else what we can do still. So that's like the four lines. Let me see how that looks. If we actually going to connect them all together. Well, let me grab it. Let's see if it's actually perfect on the grid. Very important. There we go. Play mode. And all the four of the lines should like bounce a little bit. Yes, that looks like the wind is affecting the cables. There we go. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. All right, so that's done. And we are almost an hour in as well in this video. And so I'm just going to leave it here. And I think we did pretty much a lot on this video. We did like, actually got like 3 sculptures for the price of 1, basically. Yeah, I think that this is like it's going to be a really nice additional to the cyber street. I know it's like it's maybe like not super like cyberpunk maybe like on its own, but I think that like it really is nice when the cables like it's still western punk, like I don't know how to call it, but like I like to have like the little of like the contrast between the super high tech and then still those cables like going through the city. I think that will be very cool. Like I hope that will be very cool way to go for that. I really like that the cables are just like bouncing in the wind. I really like that like detail that's going on there. So and it goes with all the cables as well. So like it's if I ever going to release all the assets, which I will eventually, I'm kind of curious if people are actually going to make something cool with this as well. So like yeah, maybe it's going to have like a landscape with all those poles. But I'm not going to release it yet. When everything is done, when all the assets are released, or like when everything is in one scene, I'm going to like, of course, I'm going to release all the assets into the Dreamiverse so you can use it for your own creations as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video as well. You know how YouTube works, so you know what to do with that. I'm not going to back you for it. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, is this something that you was it fun for you to watch? And maybe you learned a few here and there yourself. Could also be if you're never really thought about this sculpture maybe for yourself, and now you a little bit know how that works as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. As always, don't forget to, did I say that last time? I'm not sure if I forgot to say that last time, but this time I'm really going to say it. I'm not going to forget it. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to dream, everybody. Bye bye.